Trinidad and Tobago, we are here for another exciting episode of Conservation Nation. I am Khadija Stewart, the best game warden in town. On today's show, we are looking at the conservation of the blue and gold macaw in Trinidad. For those of you all that don't know, these birds are currently protected as they were once under serious threat by hunters, and their habitats were being destroyed by farmers. We have some exciting surprises for you all, so stay tuned.
Built this family on loyalty. Count another grip, smoke another zip.
I got Phoenix about just under a year ago, and when I got him he was about 4 to 6 weeks old, and got him from a friend who was in the pet trade. He also deals in exotic species of birds.
Okay. I know this is a touchy subject, but do you have a wildlife permit for Phoenix?
Currently I don't have a permit for Phoenix, but I plan to acquire one.
Okay. Do you think more should be done to conserve these birds in Trinidad?
I think, yes, I think that not enough is being done right now. So I think more should be done.
Trinidad is in close proximity to the mainland South America, so it is easy for small boat owners to make a fast trip to buy wild animals. Once in Trinidad and Tobago, the animals, often endangered species, may be sold locally or shipped anywhere in the world. Often, their survival rate is low, as once seen by the Coast Guard, these animals are thrown overboard and left to drown. One of the constant problems game wardens face is what to do with live animals once seized. Often there is nowhere to send these animals, and the officers seizing them do not know how to properly handle them. A lot more training is required in this field, as well as more areas in which these animals can be kept. If they have a proper area to reside, they can mate and increase in numbers. Hopefully, with the help of all the government agencies and private organizations, measures will be put in place to stop illegal trafficking of these birds.
Bernadette Play, a researcher at the Cincinnati Zoo's Center for Conservation and Research of Endangered Wildlife, is the main person associated with the reintroduction of the blue and gold macaws in Trinidad. In 1993, Nariva Swamp was declared a wetland of international importance, which meant the gradual banishment of the rice farmers from the Nariva, the drafting of a long-term restoration plan, and the designation of the swamp as protected. In addition, a 3,840-acre section of the swamp became the Bushbush Wildlife Sanctuary in 1968. Play and the zoo had the reintroduction project underway, aided by Play's own Trinidad-based Center for the Rescue of Endangered Species of Trinidad and Tobago. Player first planned to use macaw chicks bred and raised at the Cincinnati Zoo, but veterinarians there advised against it because of the risk of transferring unknown diseases from Ohio to Trinidad. Under the zoo's guidance, Trinidad's Wildlife Division began a breeding program on the island instead, using wild-caught blue and golds confiscated from illegal traders and birds from the Emperor Valley Zoo. Unfortunately, that failed, and she considered using adult birds. The first group of blue and golds bound for the Nariva, 9 males and 9 females, arrived in Trinidad in October 1999. All were in good reproductive health and had tested negative for a variety of diseases during a 28-day quarantine in Guyana. After a second quarantine in Trinidad, they were rowed to a large wire mesh on the swamp's Bushbush Island. The birds spent several months in the enclosure there, becoming accustomed to the look, sounds, and feel of the Nariva swamp. In December 1999, under the direction of the zoo's aviculture division, Play set free 4 males. At the time, it was thought that the birds would stake out breeding territories and that those territories would then be well established by the next month when play followed with 5 females and 3 males. In March of 2000, she released the final pair of the group. In all, 9 blue and gold survived, and they formed 4 pairs and produced 12 chicks over 2 nesting seasons. By all accounts, this is an extraordinary success rate.
I'm Stephen Broadbridge. I am the owner and runner of Caribbean Discovery Tours. That is an eco-adventure tourism company. That is eco-adventure travel within Trinidad and Tobago. And we do a number of exciting off-the-beaten-track locations.
This cage is for re-releasing the blue gold macaws. It's a sort of a quarantine station where they put the macaws to get them used to the area, and so they can make sure that they're ready to face the wild conditions. So they put them in here for a while, feed them, and make sure they're getting exercise for the flights, because usually they're kept in very small cages before they arrive here, so they need to develop their muscles so that they can survive and get away from snake attacks and things.
My job in the Wildlife Centre is to help monitor the populations of the macaws in Trinidad.
Would you say that enough is being done in Trinidad to conserve our species and ecosystems?
Honestly, never enough is done, because honestly our laws and our policies aren't up to date when it comes to conservation, and there are other sectors that really take preference in Trinidad, like the oil and gas companies.
What is the current population of the blue and gold macaw in Trinidad?
I know a study was done last year. Well, every year there's a study done, and up to late last year, I think it was either October or November, there are about 107 birds in the wild.
Where can these birds be found in Trinidad?
Their core habitat is Bush Island in the river Swamp.
How and when did these birds become extirpated in Trinidad?
From about the year 2001, the population numbers were noticeably low, and this was mainly due to not only hunters trying to meet the demands for the pet owners who wanted the macaws as pets, but also agriculturists who were growing rice on a large scale in the river swamp, and a couple marijuana farmers, but mainly rice.
How does one go about obtaining a permit in order to own a macaw?
You should apply to one of the wildlife centres. There are 3 in Trinidad. There's in San Fernando, in St. Joseph, and in Maraval. But there are certain requirements that must be met in order to gain a permit. You have to have certain cage sizes, heights, proper food.
What is the law requiring the ownership of these macaws?
There's no clear-cut law, but you do have to have a permit.
And what is the consequence of owning a macaw without a permit?
If you are found to be in possession of a blue and yellow macaw, you have to pay a fine of $200, and the Wildlife Centre, in conjunction with the government, seizes your bird, and depending on which wildlife centre sees your bird, the bird will be held in captivity there at the centre, and depending on what the judge says to determine the fate of the bird, you will be granted the permit or not, and you will get your bird back.
What is being done to help with the conservation of these parrots?
Many conservation biologists are lobbying for new laws to be implemented.
Do you think that the capturing of these birds has any impact on the environment?
Yes, well, like with any other organism in the environment, they allow environmental stability. They can act as an indicator species. So you can say, like the blue and yellow macaws in the river, they nest in the palm trees. And if they were to move out of the river, we would know one of the resources, perhaps the palm trees, were low in number.
Hey guys, it's time for Survey Says. Now let's take a look at our first question. Do you think that the reintroduction plan for the blue and gold macaw created a population explosion? Survey says 68% of you all said no, but 32% of you all said yes. Next question. Do you believe that enough is being done by the government to protect our endangered species? Survey says 88% of you all said no, and 12% of you all said yes. What is our government doing Do you think that because these birds are endangered, that they are better off domesticated than in the wild? Survey says 84% of y'all said no, while 16% of y'all said yes. Next question. Do you think that citizens should be allowed to own these macaws without a permit? Survey says 55% of y'all said no, while 45% of y'all said yes. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Conservation Nation. For those of you all out there that don't have a permit, get up and go and get one. Next week's show, we'll be looking at the conservation of the red howler monkey. So stay tuned. Bye.